Welcome to AI for Everyone, the podcast that demystifies artificial intelligence and makes it useful for everyone, especially teachers, students, employees, small business owners, and lifelong learners. I'm your host, Brett Hansen, a 25-year veteran teacher with years of experience exploring, implementing, and teaching AI. As a Google and ISTE educator, I'm here to help you navigate this quickly changing world with confidence, curiosity, and a focus on ethical, practical use. So whether you're new to AI or ready to level up, you're in the right place. Let's get started. This week, in our AI in Focus, we're talking about the very important topic of AI taste. Taste is the term that the industry has chosen over the last year or two to delineate a very specific, important human ability. But before we talk about that, I want you to think about the word taste and think about the different ways we use it. So the first most obvious way is like tasting food. So there's a food tech company called Notco, and they have an AI called Giuseppe. And Giuseppe's job is to analyze the molecular structure of plants to create plant-based foods that taste exactly like their animal product counterparts, like milk or burgers. And this has been going on for a long time, but because of AI, it's getting better. Now, Giuseppe can, quote, taste on a chemical level, deconstructing flavor into a matrix of data points that will allow it to more likely create a good tasting burger. And it really is an incredible feat of engineering that's going to be used a lot in our food production. But here's the thing. Giuseppe can analyze the molecules of a flavor, but it can never experience the human sensation of delight that goes with tasting something delicious, or disgust that goes with tasting something horrible. It operates in a world of logic and data, which is fundamentally different from the chaos, subjectivity, and I guess you could say beautiful contradictions that define human taste. I mean, some of the things that we just love, or individuals love, just you wouldn't think they go together. And this brings us to the second kind of taste, the one we're talking about today. Not the literal kind of taste that comes with eating food and those beautiful contradictions, but the metaphorical kind. Taste as a uniquely human form of aesthetic and strategic judgment. And it's really important and getting more and more important because in a world where AI can generate a near infinite amount of content, code, ideas, podcasts, our ability to judge or discern or to curate, that is our AI taste, is becoming the single most important skill we can really develop. I mean, it's just a matter of time before many of these skills that we've been working on so diligently to become better using AI are going to get woven into the actual AI itself. But taste is most likely going to remain as an important skill to determine good from bad. So today we're going to explore what AI taste is, why it matters, and how you can start cultivating it to move from a casual user to a true co-creator with this technology and develop a skill that will last for quite a long time. So what is AI taste and why does it matter now? The sort of AI dictionary definition of AI taste is something like a uniquely human form of aesthetic or strategic judgment, as I said a few minutes ago, that serves as a critical differentiator in an age of infinite or near infinite AI generation. And it's going to get more and more expansive as we go forward. And so in one sense, it's the shift from valuing the speed of execution to valuing the quality of judgment. It's the learned ability to discern good from bad in both inputs and outputs, and to understand the different levels and types of quality an AI can produce. So AI is the learned ability to discern good and bad in both the questions you ask AI and the answers you get back, the input and the output, and to understand the different levels and types of quality an AI can produce. So think about it this way. We're living in an age of what research calls the efficiency paradox. As AI gets better and better at doing things, the human ability to decide what is worth doing becomes exponentially more valuable. When anyone can generate 1,000 marketing slogans in a minute, the crucial skill isn't generating them, it's the taste to pick the one that will actually connect with people. And this makes taste a new kind of economic barrier, or to use a metaphor, like an economic moat, a defensive competitive advantage in an AI-saturated world. So yesterday I was listening to the podcast AI Daily, and he was talking about a new company in Hollywood, I'm pretty sure, I know it's in California, that has created an AI system, a combination of different AI tools that will create podcasts extremely quickly on a wide variety of topics. And they are talking about making a profitable nationwide business on creating podcasts that will earn them approximately $1 each. So they're talking about thousands and thousands of podcasts that focus on a topic that people can share. And so what is probably going to happen is that people who are able to distinguish the difference between a good AI podcast and a bad AI podcast are going to make better decisions. This is just one example, and there are going to be thousands and thousands of them coming at us in the near future. So developing this taste is really important, and it requires that we understand a few key things about any AI model we use. Now, my personal philosophy breaks it down into 4 components. The first is you have to understand the AI's personality. Every AI model has a unique way about it, a voice, a style based on its training data. For example, many people, including me, find that ChatGPT often excels at creative writing or whimsical writing, while a model like Google's Gemini is often better at interconnected tasks. I haven't used Copilot enough to say that it too is good at those tasks, those interconnecting tasks, but I assume that that's one of their goals. Now, especially if you live inside the Google Workspace ecosystem or the Microsoft 360 work system. Taste is knowing which personality to turn to for a specific task. The second thing is recognizing its creative tendencies. Taste involves knowing the creative paths a model is likely to take. Is it better at photorealistic images or stylized ones? Does it write better structured narratives or abstract poetry? Is it better at creating images that are true to the original content, say like Nano Banana, or maybe better at interpreting the direction you want an image to go? The third is anticipating its logical blind spots, and this is a really important one. It's the ability to foresee a model's failures, like its tendency to hallucinate or make up information. It's also knowing its aesthetic gaps, like its historical difficulty drawing hands, which has been a big problem for a lot of image generation AI. And so this comes from a core truth that AI lacks lived experience and cultural context. So it's essential that you're able to see that, know that, remember that when you are making choices. A user with AI taste knows where the AI's logic will probably break down and when human oversight is non-negotiable, and this comes from experience. I'll give you a quick example. I've been using Gemini more and more. I really, really like it. And so we have Gemini at school, at work now, and it says that it's a pro account. So I was working on my custom gem to create independent student learning programs for all of my students. And it kept telling me the wrong data. So I always test after I create a gem. So I knew that something was wrong and it didn't make any sense and I couldn't figure it out. So I opened up my own gem, my Gemini account that is a paid account, and it also said 2.5 Pro. and I had no problems with any of the data. So I did a test. I put the exact same instructions, the exact same knowledge files, and then I tested it and everything worked perfectly. So even though it says that I'm using the 2.5 Pro, it was not performing at the same level. So I don't think they are providing the same level of quality for the free accounts for schools. That's something that I was able to figure out because I've been working with it and have enough experience in it. That's one aspect of AI taste. The fourth is mastering guidance. And it is prompting and it includes prompting, but it's going beyond prompting now. So when you understand those first three components, your prompts become more than just commands. They become sophisticated acts of guidance. And you're no longer just asking it to write a story or create an image. You're guiding it with your voice, the constraints that you understand are relevant in the circumstance, an understanding of the different tendencies and personality of AIs, and a style that plays to its strengths. So it really is about becoming better at working with the system. So there are 5 stages of AI proficiency that we can look at to better understand AI taste at different levels. So I use the water metaphor regularly, and so we talk about the sunbather and the snorkeler and all these people, and we can look at this from their perspectives. So level 1 is the sunbather, the skeptic, and this is the person who avoids knowingly using AI. They use it, it's in their phones, it's in their Google Maps, their Netflix recommendations, it's certainly in their bank investments and their retirement accounts, but they still critique it and complain about it, and they don't really realize how much it's influencing their lives. And they represent that sort of baseline of non-adoption, and they really don't have much AI taste at all. So it's important that we, try to help explain things to them, but we don't take their criticisms too seriously. The second level is the beachcomber. You might call this the dabbler or the dip my toe in the water kind of person. And this is an entry point for almost all of us. We treat AI like a simple tool or a fancy search engine, which then allows our interactions to spread out, but they remain relatively shallow. And they're usually like single shot questions and wanting really a fancy Google search. And so these people unfortunately often take the first answer they get, or they maintain an understanding of what's going on in AI based on what they did 6 months ago. And anybody that's paying any attention knows that the AI 6 months ago is far inferior to the AI today, even a month ago. So there are those limitations, but it's an important first step. Now, level 3 is the swimmer, and the swimmer has moved past simple queries, and they understand that the first output is rarely the final one, and that there are a lot more things that can be done. They engage in iterative conversational dialogue with their AI. They refine their requests, they ask for changes, they manage the AI like a capable assistant. At this level, they're starting to leverage more complex functions, like using multimodal AI to generate a Google script, to automate a task through their extensions. That might be a little bit much for a swimmer, but they're getting close to that. They're beginning to apply their personal taste during the editing phase, and they are really getting the feel for what it means to become an efficient practitioner of AI. Now, level 4 is, in my opinion, the most important spot, the place where we want to try to get as many people as possible who want to be good, competent, really efficient, and ethical users of AI. And these are the co-creators. This is where things get really interesting. Snorkelers, or level 4 AI users, see the AI not as a tool to command, but as a thinking partner or creative muse. They have or are opening their minds to the idea that there are different types of intelligence now, and that in the future there are going to be a lot more types of intelligence, and we have to learn to manage them. Their interaction is collaborative and systemic. They will probably be using a wide variety of types of AI, but they probably have one that is their primary AI system that they are connected to. For me, it's Google and Gemini and the entire workspace that has to do with the education workspace for Google Classroom and all those tasks, and then the incredible multimodal tools that have been evolving over the last year. Now, they don't just refine their outputs. They architect the entire creative process, usually from either the start or someplace close to the start. And they're using highly developed AI taste to steer the whole generative process and turning it into something, if it's not agentic, it is a controlled agentic process. This is the person using advanced features like custom GPTs together with other AI tools or workspace tools in order to build a focused assistant for a big project, or for something like starting a small business or producing a podcast while they're busy with their daily work. These people are really figuring out ways to connect things and use them together. For example, for me, this includes using GEMS together with Google Forms to gather data and then to process it and return it to students for growth. And the last level is level 5, the diver. And you can view this type of person, this type of AI user, as more like an architect. These are the creators. These are the people who view AI as a system to be built, trained, and directed. They really know what's going on. They're deep into it, probably full-on professionals. They engage with the technical foundations, the coding, the model training, the system architecture. And they aren't just using the tools. They're shaping their destiny, building the platforms, and shipping these things out and being the ones who actually influence what we use. They're very powerful people in positions when it comes to AI. Now, the goal for most of us isn't necessarily to become a diver. I don't really think I want to, but I do want to cultivate and expand my abilities as a level 4 user, a snorkeler, because I think that's where the magic really happens. So the question becomes, how do we actively cultivate our AI taste at the level we're at and move forward? And so it's not that dramatic. It's certainly not mystical. It's just skill development, like so many other things. And so we just build it. It's all about a simple foundational growth cycle that we can really exemplify. And we talk about it a lot on the show. So it just comes down to moving from experience to skill. And then those experiences and skills build our confidence, which inevitably start to cultivate taste. And then you just try to do it more intentionally or dynamically. So you just use tools so that you're building more experiences and able to do more. And then those skills will naturally refine how you interact with AI, moving from basic prompting toward more sophisticated prompt engineering, and then multimodal tools intermingled with text-based tools. And then your skills will build more confidence, which empowers you to take on more complex tasks. And that entire cycle refines your taste. You get better at it, and then you do it again, but at a higher level. To accelerate this, you can create what some AI influencers and researchers are calling kind of a taste gym, a set of active exercises to build your judgment, your ability to distinguish, and to cultivate taste. So here are a few exercises that you can start today. The first thing that you can and should do is to build a reference library. Become a curator of excellence in your field. Collect examples of work you admire. So if you're a teacher, they might be great lesson plans that have been created with specific tools. If you're a business person or in marketing, you might read about or learn about brilliant marketing copy that was created with AI, some kind of elegant design. And then you look at them and you articulate specifically what makes them effective. And if it were me, I would use AI to try to help me distinguish that. This library will become kind of your benchmark for quality when you evaluate AI outputs. The second exercise you can do is to create and compare. So instead of trying to perfect one output, use the AI's speed to generate multiple versions. So you might get 5 different lesson ideas or 10 different business names, even 10 different business plans for different objectives. So the real work isn't in the generation, it's in the critical evaluation of comparing them and deciding why one is better than the others. Remember, you can have 5 different tab or windows open with your ChatGPT or Gemini, or both in different tabs or windows, and then have them run simultaneously so that you can save time. And then that's a good way to expand your ability to be more efficient with AI. Another suggestion is to study adjacent disciplines. So AI is trained on existing patterns. To generate truly new ideas, you need to feed it unexpected connections. So a teacher might study game design to create more engaging activities for students. A business owner might study behavioral economics to write better ad copy. This cross-pollination allows you to guide your specific AI, especially if you're doing custom GPTs or GEMs, toward innovative ideas that it might not have reached on its own. So really crossing over to different disciplines. And the last one for now is to intentionally push boundaries. AI is weird. And remember, nobody really understands all of it or what's going on, and it's probably going to get weirder. So get weird with it. Give the AI some absurd prompts and contradictory concepts and see what it does. This is how you can map the limits of the tools that you're using, of the systems that you're using, and therefore you could discover some of its hidden tendencies and learn where its blind spots are. I'm trying to do this right now with the multimodal tools that Google has really improved just recently. I am doing a new set of VO3 videos, and then I'm comparing them with the ones I made in the summer and going back into Flow and seeing how I can, create short movie clips. I made one about a boy who was really discouraged at school and then winds up getting interested because of robots and AI. And it was fun to make. There are lots of bumps still, but I'm going to push my abilities in that area just so I can get some new ideas about the stuff for my work. So the ultimate goal is a collaboration that keeps you in charge, but enhances the effect, the end result, the product. So the reason cultivating taste is so important is that it unlocks this goal of working with the technology to move toward what's called a co-creation paradigm. And this is the domain of a snorkeler, of a level 4 person, someone who has stopped using AI as just like a tool and has become a strategic manager so that AI isn't not like an equal partner, but is a symbiotic partner that allows you to fuse your human intuition and judgment with the AI's speed and computational power. In this model, your role is elevated as long as you work on those truly human skills. You become the director, the visionary, the curator of the process. You set the goals, define the ethical boundaries, and infuse the work with the emotional intelligence that machines lack. And you make the decisions. The AI becomes your tireless brainstorming partner, your rapid prototyping engine, your personal management and marketing team, all of these things that you really probably couldn't do all on your own anyways. This isn't just about working faster. It's about thinking better. It's about achieving strategic and creative breakthroughs that would probably not have been possible for either you or the AI to accomplish alone. And it all starts with developing your taste. This is, in many ways, one of our human superpowers that we really should be cultivating whenever possible. So let's bring it all back and wrap up for this episode. We've talked about the difference between an AI's literal taste with the company that's making food products and our human strategic taste, which is the skill that we want to cultivate. We learn that in an age of infinite AI generation, our judgment is what truly matters, and this is AI taste. We walk through the 5 levels of proficiency: the skeptical sunbather, the dabbling beachcomber, the practical swimmer, the collaborative snorkeler, and the architectural diver, to find out where you are and what you should be working on. And so hopefully this gives you some understanding of what you should work on for your growth. And most importantly, we talked about how to actively build that taste. It's not a mystery. It's a skill you can develop through the cycle of experience, skill development, and confidence, and by putting in the reps in your own taste gym. So my challenge for you this week is to try one of those exercises. Create and compare 5 different versions of something, or find an excellent piece of work in your field and write down exactly why it's great. Start building that reference library. Start building and cultivating your AI taste. Thanks for spending time with me today on AI for Everyone. I hope this episode gave you something useful to think about and something new to try. If you enjoyed it, please tell your peers and subscribe so you never miss an episode. You're also invited to join the Hanson Education Services newsletter, where I share bonus tools, practical teaching ideas, and curated updates to help you stay ahead in a world shaped by AI. To learn more, find all the resources mentioned today, and connect with me directly, visit hansoneducationservices.com. That's where you'll find everything you need to keep growing your AI confidence. Thanks again, and remember, the most important 21st century skill is to always keep learning how to learn.